Tuesday clubs with Harry? Was it Tuesday clubs? You could have a drink on a Tuesday. Or was it Wednesday? I can't remember.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. No, not really. Yeah, no, it's Tuesday. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
the sort of intensity of the game in England. I mean, people talk about it a lot, but it is very, very true. It's funny because people say, you get foreigners needing time to adjust to the English way
Yes.
of life. Well, my groins needed time to adjust to the English pitches when I came back from the nice hard pitches in Portugal to Chadwell Heath training every day. So yeah, I sort of, it took my body a month or so to get used to sort of English pitches again, or certainly the training pitch. I think the intensity of the game,
Mm.
out certainly in Portugal, but even if you play against a lot of European teams, they kind of, it's a slower pace. It's more technical. They want to be able to sort of control the game, more possession based. Whereas, and the English game has got very much like that now as well,
Mm.
while still keeping the intensity. And the top teams are around the whole of Europe are able to have both possession and
Yeah.
also intensity as well. But I think that's the biggest difference really. And you've got to still not get sucked into that. Still play with the type of play intensity that you're used to playing, and realizing that they don't want. So you play to what the tempo that you want, not what they.
Okay, first one is obviously 62 first team appearances, no goals. But Skipper says, how close did you come to scoring for the Hammers?
I won a penalty at Anfield.
That tick.
I think we drew 2-2 that day. I must have had a couple of shots. I mean, my memory rust now is not the best, and people are reminding me all the time.
Yeah, I mean, some people have like, if you talk to like Tony Cottee, he'll remember like everything. Some people have that, and some people, right, I mean, we interviewed, who did I interview? I think it was Bobby Gould, and he's still got his scrapbooks, his notebooks of all the goals he scored and all the games he played in, and it's incredible, really. But yeah, and I think win a penalty at Anfield, that'll do.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't going to take it with Paolo in the team, and I'm pretty sure he dinked it down the middle as well.
So, of course he did.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I even hit the post, or I definitely would have made a few assists. I can think of one straight off of Paolo one chop at Derby. And there would have been quite a few others in that. But in terms of actually scoring, I can't think, mate. I can't think of any.
You were loving Manny. Interesting. You were key.
No, absolutely. Oh my goodness me! I mean, some memories coming up here.
Yeah.
No, remind me, Russ. Did we win the first game?
We won the first game. Yeah, it was against Villa. Yeah, at home. We won it, and then it came out. I think it was in the eve. I did a show about it. Yeah, I think it came out like in the. I think it was in the evening after. Like it was in the evening, but late in the evening it came out that he'd played for Gillingham, I believe, in the cup previous rounds.
Us footballers aren't the most intelligent, and we certainly don't think if we played in one competition we're not allowed to play in the other. So absolutely nobody blamed Manny at all. I'm a really nice lad, really good lad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bad clerical error, isn't it, from the club? I don't know who would have been involved in that, but no excuse today. I mean, back in the day, they probably had a pencil and paper and trying to work out exactly who played in what game, and Harry looking for the notes or whatever. But no, there's absolutely no excuse now. Was that the game as well where I'm sure it's the only penalty I saw Paolo not score? Against David
possibly, possibly. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was against Villa. I just don't know if it's in that particular cup tie or not. And it was like, you absolutely nailed it on. If Paolo was going to take a penalty, it's a goal. The goalkeeper's no point in even trying to go for it. And JMO saved it.
Obviously, Monks is still one of the ambassadors, so you see him. He's still there every game. Bless. What a ledge.
I saw him at a game. I did. What was it? I did it for Malaysia TV. It was.
I tell you what it was, because you texted me about it afterwards. Yeah, it was a Chelsea game, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And I saw him, and I said this to him at the time, and I genuinely mean it. It took me 3 months to realise what was his best foot. Yeah, he was that good, two-footed. And he loved the two-footer as well. But on the ball, he was just absolutely superb, and one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life as well. Just a fantastic
right. Which ground, Upton Park aside, one in England, one in Europe, had the best atmosphere in your career?
Well, funny you should say that, because I do actually say, and I am still one of the old school and I realise we're a bit dinosaurs now. That still gutted that West Ham don't play at Upton Park. I play sometime. One week I play at Upton Park. What was it, 28, 29,000 there. The next week we play at Old Trafford, 75,000, and you couldn't compare the atmosphere.
Sure.
It was just amazing. So Upton Park was an amazing atmosphere. I mean, the obvious ones for me, which is what I kind of say anyway, the biggest game I suppose I ever played in was the FA Cup final for Chelsea at Wembley. So that was fantastic. What other club grounds? Club grounds like, Villa Park was great. Where else? I mean, Anfield was great. Goodison as well. I think we got hammered there one time.
Yeah, it
might even have been in the season we finished 5th. Might even have been 6.
5-0. Was it 6-0? Yeah, 6-0. Yeah.
And it was towards the end of the season. So we were either winning games a lot or losing games. But finished 5th. And obviously the one away from home was the Stadio de Luz, the Stadium of Life, Benfica. I remember when I went to Benfica and we had one pre-season game and it was called the presentation game. And we played Lazio, and there were 80,000 people who turned up.
Wow!
And there was like red carpet. They were introducing each player individually. Red carpet, dim lights come up. I'm thinking, bloody hell, what's this? This is Hollywood, And regularly 60,000 crowds and 80,000 in the big games as well.
Yeah, totally right. On a lighter note, do you remember playing Leeds at home and we had Xhaka, Lomas, and Wrighty sent off? We lost 5-1.
I do remember that as well, and do you know what the thing I remember about that, apart from Wrighty kicking the referee's door down, and it happened to be replaced, and I think he had to pay for it out of his own pocket. I was getting clapped off because we gave it absolutely everything. Yeah, the players who were left on the pitch, and it wasn't a 5-1 game, even with the players we had sent off. It was almost like they were just clinical in that time. I don't know what the stats were, but it felt like they probably had 7 attempts and 5 went in. And also when you're playing with 8 men, I mean, one more sent off and the game would have had to been cancelled. So it was, it was an amazing game. But again, that was typical West Ham fans. They could be on you if you weren't at it. But if they saw you giving it absolutely everything, they'd cheer you off. And that's why I remember. I remember us being applauded off and thinking they've seen us. We've got nothing left. And it is what it is.
That must have been a bit of a rude awakening, wasn't it? You didn't have much of a break, really.
No, and normally as a player, you kind of you get the letter, probably emails now or just a text or something. But back in those days, you get a letter to when the pre-season is, and you just, as long as it said July, you didn't mind if it was the 1st of July, even if it's the 30th of June. There was something psychological, like, we've got to go back in June, I think we had to go back a week earlier, and it was sometime in June. But it may have been the 2nd pre-season game.
Yeah.
And to be fair to Harry, and he was absolutely right, he didn't sort of say, we need to be in 3 weeks before, have played 3 or 4 games, and then start this competition. This has to be part of our pre-season.
Yeah.
And I remember one of the games, because you're not used to sort of, obviously you give it your all in every game, whether it's pre-season game or whatever, but such a competitive game straight away, and we thought we're in Europe, we've got to try and get as far as we can, certainly win this Intertoto competition. I remember my feet, I must have had about 8 blisters on my feet, and John Cross, the physio, sort of spending ages sort of taping them all up. And if it had just been a normal pre-season game, I'd have said, look, just let my feet relax, will you, for a couple of days, but you want to play in it. So it was strange. And but no, I think the fact we finished 5th, I just said to you earlier that finish 5th and you get into an Intertoto and you've got to still qualify for it's crazy, but it was what it was then. So you just dealt with it and realised that you're back in, and you want to try and get as far as you can in Europe, or certainly win the Intertoto, which you did. So it's fine.
Brilliant. What's the worst thing has been chucked at you at a game?
Just general abuse. There's not been a physical thing. I remember Harry getting a season ticket chucked in his face one time, and it caught him right in the face. But in terms of things, no, I've not had anything really sort of chucked me, but plenty of verbal abuse.
I'm all in. Yeah. More important questions. What's your favourite mint? I told you, getting stupid now. There we go. What type of mint? How many mints are there? After 8? No, that's not. That's a chocolate.
Yeah. Love an after 8, but have
Love an after 8.
More of a Christmas thing. I remember when I scored my first goal, very first goal for Charlton, and the News of the World had a headline, "The Polo Kid."
Yeah.
So not very original, but that was But polos back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah, after 8's a good shout.
Back in the day.